it's the area of the pretty much the sharpest visions. Right now, you and I, we're chatting through, this online chatting. I'm using my macula to read everything on the screen to look at your face. So it's an area of the sharpest vision. Every time you read, you use a macula, and there's a certain pigmentation uh, within the macula itself. Okay, it's called carotenoids. So those pigmentation works pretty much like a sunscreen on your skin. So the pigmentation will absorb the blue light coming from from the sun, coming from your devices. Okay, so cell phone, iPad, what have you. So the pigmentation is very, very important. In the earlier days, if if you are exposed to too much blue light, the pigmentation start to destroy your, will get destroyed. And then one of the first thing that we do is there's a reaction time that we can measure. We call it the MPOD score, MPODS. That stands for macular pigment optical density score. There's an instrument that can actually measure that. In the old day, not even that old, probably like 5 6 years ago, older days, you need to have an MPOS score of 0.50 or higher to consider being safe in a safe range, safe zone. A few years ago, someone decided to lower that standard from 0.50 to 0.40. So when you spend too much time on your computer screen, especially in the dark, your number will start to drop. Okay, so we have seen, young kids, literally teenagers, their numbers are in the twos, like 0.2 something, not even 0.3. That's horrible. That means there's a functional damage to your macula already. There's no structural damage to the macula yet. But if you continue, ignoring the problem, eventually you'll start notice, structural damage. And structural damage cannot be reversed. Okay, so taking a vitamin can minimize that problems, can kind of replenish your pigmentation in the macula, and that's why it's critical for people to start taking vitamin at an earlier age right now if they do spend a lot of time on their devices, and especially if they have gone to doctors where they have the instrument to measure your MPOS score. So I have an MPOS instrument in my office. So I have thousands of patients. I have their data for the past 10 years. So I know which one are pretty much at risk of getting macular problem down the road. And the beverage itself, the iDrink itself, comes with all the key ingredients to replenish your pigmentation there. It's basically an MPOD, basically it's a RAS2 vitamin in a beverage format.
And why in a beverage format?
Well, two reasons. Number one, the bioavailability of a beverage, of a liquid, is way superior than a gel caps. Okay, I mean it's a well-known fact in the scientific field. And number two is the compliance rate. I can tell people start taking vitamins, ARAS2 vitamins. The At least in my patient base, the compliance rate is less than 10%. I mean, I'm probably being optimistic, probably not even 5%. Okay. So especially asking, 20, 30-year-olds start popping vitamins. A lot of times they just don't do that. Especially, some of the younger kids, tell them to start taking vitamins. And that's not gonna happen. But they're drinking beverages like crazy. They're drinking Gatorade, Prime, naked juice, whatever you name it. So they drink those juices. So instead of drinking those, why not drink this? The eye drink that can help you protect your macula and also minimize your potential dry eye issues because it's got the omega there. And the drink comes in the 500 ml or 16.9 ounce bottle, so pretty much like a Gatorade size bottle. So internally, we call it the Gatorade for the eyes. Okay, so this is probably easier way to do it. No, so if you're going to spend 3, 4, 5, 10, 12 hours on your screen, it's probably it's probably a good idea to start drinking it right now to protect your eye. You don't want to wait until MPOS score is horribly low, like terrible. Like we have people, I just collected data uh, last Tuesday. The number is 0.05. Yeah, 10% of what it should be. Yeah.